Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Praise you, Yah, brothers and sisters. Coming back today in the KJV, talking about worldly riches. Now listen, brothers and sisters, like I always say, there's nothing that I'm about to say is new to you. These are most of the time refreshers. But the way I want to kick this off, because I've been hearing a lot of pride in the so-called pro-black community, and they say certain things, you know, that I'm kind of analyzing and studying for myself to try to see, are they really trying to figure out what's going on? Are they really looking for a solution why these so-called people who have hatred in their heart towards them, you know, are they really trying to look for an answer for it? Or is it like an ego thing? Like, is it something like they're treating it like somebody is fetishizing over them or something? And I just want to say to those people that think that way, listen, the so-called Caucasian people that we have known in the past through history as oppressors, they are not interested in you, okay, personally. You are a not only cheap labor, but so-called, what you call it out here? You're a money-making machine. They look and study blacks to make money. It has nothing to do with they are fascinated with you. They want to be around you. They think you're cool. No, they want to make money. And unfortunately, since they have to use you to make money because they can't come up with none of the things that so-called black people come up with, this is why they stick around. This is why, you know, the sabotages and segregation and putting people in certain places where they can monitor them. You know, this was only for a money-making reason. It had nothing to do with they wanted to be like you or anything. So I just want to tell those so-called pro-black people that's out here manipulating other black people and thinking these people just fantasizing over you and all that. No, man. You're simply just a money-making tool. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but that's all you are, and that's all it will be until the end of the world comes. So today I want to talk about these worldly riches because unfortunately, not only the so-called Caucasian oppressor thinks this way, but the so-called pro-blacks think this way, and everybody in demographics of the world think the same way when it comes to the money. They really hold this thing as high value. They really hold this thing as a status quo. You know, as a look at me and my family. Look at what I accomplished. Look at my achievements. They really hold this thing we call money up to a very high standard in the world today. And I just want to read some things to you. And brothers and sisters, I ain't forgot about you, but I'm not going to be naive of the audiences that come to these type of channels. I don't come here for views. I come here for listeners. I don't care if it's a few or a lot. I know somebody's listening, and these things are going to get out in the times to come. So I just wanted to put that out there. You know, we living in a world where loving money has got to an extremist level. And people are willing to tie it into spirituality things, tie it into moral things, tie it into, you know what, you know, they're labeling it, having this money as this is a moral level up. And it's not. When we hear about things what Shaul was saying, I love bringing these things up because everybody heard it. That's why I like these things, because I'm not confusing anybody when I repeat these things. Shaul said, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Where some has turned after and erred from the faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. And this is what you hearing out here from people who have chose to put their faith in getting money instead of putting their faith in getting their life right in the Ruach and getting their relationship right concerning their true identity. They want to create their identity by going after the money instead of going after the true identity from where they came from when it comes to righteousness. So we're going to get into these things, brothers and sisters. Listen to this. Y'all heard these things before, man. Luke chapter 12, verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. But what do you hear in the world, brothers and sisters? When it comes to these worldly riches, when it comes to things that people possess, whether it's material or it's human relationships, these people really uphold these things as though these things are bringing moral value to them as an individual. You know what I mean? And these same people that look at these things that way, at one point were very envious of a lot of people who had it seemingly before they got it. That's what covetousness means. It means envy. So people want to put the word jealousy in the same category as envy, but jealousy and envy is not the same. Envy is a hatred where you want something that don't belong to you that another person has. Jealousy is a hatred of a person having something that belongs to you and that person has that. That's the difference. And you got a lot of these little hypocrites out here that don't want to separate that truth as far as what jealousy is and envy is, because a lot of these hypocrites walk around in that spirit of envy. And that's where that love of money grows, because they walk after that spirit of envy. They always looking at who got more money and, oh, they got that. Let me try to get it too, because it's all about trying to create your own righteousness going after this thing. So in Luke chapter 12 and 15, it says, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, beware of envy. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. Let's check something out real quick. Consisteth. Let's understand these things. Help me out here. Help me out here. Says consist, meaning to be composed of, to exist in, or to be compatible with something. So these people literally look at the worldly riches as a thing that helps them to exist as a person. Think about that. That's what consist means. It means to exist. So these people that don't have these worldly things that people don't accept, they don't feel like they exist. These are the people that's always talking about unaliving themselves because they don't feel like they have a purpose, or they don't feel, but the envy that they walk after concerning what other people have that they don't is the reason why they have these suicidal thoughts. And the devil plays on their sadness of this false reality that if they don't have these things, they don't really exist. See? That's how the damn devil plays, man. That's why it's dangerous to love the damn money. Because what you do is just you open the door to all the deceptions and the evils of the devil to come in your life to hurt other people that's close by. Understand these things. I mean, huh? Listen to this. Y'all heard these things, man. And I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, people who are of the world that love money for real, whether they publicly let it be known or they subtle with it, I'm telling you right now, brothers and sisters, when they hear things concerning them humbling themselves, being appreciative, being content, these words taste sour when they hear them in their ears. These are sour informations. They don't want to hear this. Because when you hear the word like humble and being appreciative and being content, they don't see a crowd there. They see themselves as alone and having to accept that where they're at in life, they have to be appreciative until otherwise. They don't want to do that. It's all about, let me start at the top first, and then we'll worry about everything else later. But that's not how life works for real. So listen to this. Y'all heard this. 1 Timothy chapter 6, and we're going to read 17 and 19. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living Elohim, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy, that they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. Did you hear that? In order for you to be this way, you need the Mashiach first of all. But you see the type of mentality you will have to have in order to be this way, knowing that you're not going to be in this world forever, and your whole life is basically a spiritual sacrifice for the next generation to reach the level to Yahuwah through the Mashiach. And people who love the world and the riches thereof, they'll look at us as wasting our time. Because the truth, we ain't never seen the heavenly places. We've never seen heaven. Let's keep it 100. We've never seen this place. We don't know what it really looks like on the other side. We've never been there according to our going back in our memory. We don't know. But we believe. And these people that's of the world, who walk after what they see, who walk after what they feel, who walk after what they can handle, who walk after physical communication, they are in the now. They're not going to worry about being after this world until the time comes where they really cannot refute that they're going to pass away from here and they're going to pass up out of this life. That's the only time these type of people will take the spirituality seriously. But by that time, it's really too late to keep it 100. It's too late. But nonetheless, these people that's about this money, they're always in the moment. And these are the most unmerciful, judgmental people you do not want to be around, man. Or you do not want to be entangled with when it comes to growing in life and going through the growing pains of life. Because these people, you're going to deal with a lot of betrayal, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of gossiping, a lot of, a betrayal, a lot of all that, man. Because you're dealing with a person who has a lotto mentality, and they're all about being accepted by what everybody accepts. Do you understand that? So you're dealing with a person who's not only lukewarm, but they're looking for an identity in a graveyard that we call the modern world. Help me, Elohim. Oh, I like that. Help me now. Woo. Help me now. Help me now. Y'all heard this before. I love this. One of my favorite ones. Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 21. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in Shemayim, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Ooh, the words are special, man. If your heart is in the richness of Yahuwah's righteousness, in Yahushua, that's where your treasure is at. Not a thief, not a damn devil, not a wicked hypocrite can take that away. These are invisible riches to the people that's of the world. But to the heavenly places in front of Elohim, Yahuwah, these riches are preserved. You better stick in. That's why he say pray without ceasing. You praying invisible riches that are to the worldly people, but you're praying for heavenly riches and you're storing them in heavenly places that people that's of the world and the devils that was cast down to it just can't do nothing about it. These are facts. Me, Elohim. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, brother and sister, if you really got the joy in the Mashiach and you really been walking this journey, bro, you can't fake this joy, man. You can't fake this behavior. You can't fake this energy. That's what these little weird hypocrites that's trying to do down here. That's why Elohim put it out there. Yahushua said, without me, you can do nothing. You could try to act like you about the righteousness. You could try to act like you standing up for the right. But at the end of the day, you really can't fake this for real. Because when it comes down to it, which soon it will, you're going to see a lot of these hypocrites that's claiming to be standing up. They going to fall flat. We done already seen it years ago. We just seeing another cycle of it. Let's keep it rocking. Help me, Elohim. And I just had said this, Elohim, and I'm going to read it again. Y'all heard this, man. We talking about worldly riches, brothers and sisters, and how dangerous it is for you to take your faith out of the riches that's in the wisdom of Yahuwah and Yahushua and put your faith in the riches of this world. I'm just telling you, brothers and sisters, it's dangerous. And I pray in Yahushua not to sound traditional when he bring these things to me, man, because there's so much treasure in here. I'm refreshing you on how you need to believe and how you need to see the world to come greater than this world we living in, man. Listen to these things. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 10. 6 verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Pause right there, man. Man, I heard that when I was a child. As a child, when I heard for the love of money is the root of all evil, when I heard all evil, as a child, not really understanding the world I was in at the time, that startled me as a child. I said, all evil? For the love of money? I wasn't even, dude, I'm going to be honest with you, brothers and sisters. I wasn't even knowledgeable about money like that as a child. I was into child things. I wasn't even thinking about money like that. But going to church and you had some real ones back then that spoke these words, that startled me as a child. For the love of money is the root of all evil. And then as I get older, I see for myself evidence of what people are willing to not only do for the money, but what they're willing to do to protect their money. What they're doing, what they're willing to do for it, and what they're willing to do to protect it. And man, it's crazy. And even going over my own personal experiences about how people tried to bribe me with money, and when I turned it down, how they disrespected me and made me seem like I was lower than the low because I didn't do what they wanted me to do even after they offered money. Huh? I'm telling you, man. So it says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after. See, this is what I'm saying. The word coveted means envy. Look the word up, coveted. And understand why people began to grow a love for money because of the envy of the devil that they walk in concerning other people who have money. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. This is what we see in, brothers and sisters. And the sorrows that you see are the people who are victim of people who are money lovers. And these so-called victims are, some of them are even money lovers themselves. They just fell victim to somebody that loved the money more than them. Ain't that, man, that's a dog-eat-dog world for real. We living in a dog-eat-dog world and mixed in with a whole bunch of pigs in it. This is a nasty place in the spirit. You better understand, for the money, they willing to pretend to be anybody. They willing to do anything. You better understand these things. They willing to accept anybody that's coming with the money. I even heard a term down here earlier in my years talking about ain't no color matter but the green. And that's where some of the prejudiced black-hearted hypocrites try to deny that they prejudice, to try to act like, well, ain't no color matter but the green. Hypocrite, yeah, the green do matter to you, but also the other color do too, you weird hypocrite. Ain't nobody falling for that trash. Listen to this. Help me out of him. And it says, and pierce themselves through with many sorrows. Why? Because when you love the money, you know what you do? All you do is fall into a whole bunch of traps. And after the fact, you're going to feel sad about it. Not only about what's happening to you, but what you doing to people by doing what you doing, loving the damn money. Help me, Elohim. Oh, man. This is the big one. I'm going to tell you right now. This is the hugest one out of now that I'm recognizing, this is one of the biggest scriptures, because when you look at the world, and there's a balance. People want to try to act like there's more poor people than rich people, but the truth of the fact is it's a balance. It's the same amount of rich people versus the same amount of poor people. It's the same. They don't ever want to equalize it, because if you equalize it, you will see the ones who really can help and the ones who are choosing not to help versus the ones who choosing to help. Huh? Listen to these things. I love these things. Let me Allah, huh? 1 John chapter 3 verse 17. But whoso have this world's good and seeth his brother have need and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of Yahuwah in him? How? Look, I done been around some hypocrites. I done lived with some hypocrites, bro. Listen, we driving, man. We all got a little bit of money in our pocket. All we about to do is go eat and drink it up anyway. You see somebody on the side of the road with a sign or something, man, or you see a family out. You know what I mean? And you tell the person, go pull up. I'm about to do this. And while you preparing to do that, the person says something slick like all they gonna do is go get drunk with it, or all they gonna do is buy some drugs with it. Really? These the same hypocrites, bro, that be talking that trash and hesitant to help the poor. These same hypocrites got bad habits with the money they accumulate throughout their lives. All they do is eat, drink, and use it up, drug it up, drink it up, drunk it up. They do all the trash they want to do, but when it comes to giving that same money out, all of a sudden now these are issues now. You see the hypocrisy? You see the hypocrite in these hypocrites. It's disgusting. Let me Allah. Y'all heard this before. James chapter 5. We gonna read 1 to 5. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that will come upon you. Your riches are corrupted. Your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver is cankered. And the rust of them will be a witness against you and will eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. I want to pause right there. This is what they doing. This is what everybody who love the money always feels like they're in a rush to try to do, or they need to do, is get as much money as they can for the last days of their lives. I'm seeing how you're moving, baby. And then you want to look at us that's in a Mashiach, and we look like we just moving with the motions of life. We really ain't in a rush for anything. You can't tell that our heart is in treasures that are not from the earth. You can't tell, you little weird be tricked. Listen to these things. Tell me Allah, He said, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of Yahuwah of Sabaoth. Am I saying that correctly, Elohim? Forgive me. You have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanting. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Brothers and sisters, look around. These hypocrites' desires are fattened. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, they glutton their desires, man. Their desires are always fattened and nourished and satisfied. They don't never reject their desires. Baby. And the praise some of these hypocrites get because they got the money. And they money and they family be kissing they behind because they got the money and they be pleasing their family's desires. They love the praise that they get from men, women, and the children. So they don't want to stop the flow. So they'll do whatever to keep it coming. Or they'll do whatever to protect it. You understand that? Damn, But these hypocrites don't even know that when the Mashiach return, or we ain't even got to go to his return, when the tests and trials of these hypocrites that got the money, and all these things that be coming out of their mouth claiming that they loyal people and they love their family. When the real tests come, when that money ain't there like that and you really got to come out here and do what you got to do, stand on what you claim and you believe, a lot of these hypocrites, like I said, gonna fall flat. Facts. We almost done, brothers and sisters. And this is another thing, Elohim. See, this is the thing I'm 40 club now, and I've been believing longer before that. But I'm gonna tell you something. What I recognize about people, man, they got trouble believing in the script. They got trouble believing in what Yahuwah promises. They got trouble in believing what Yahushua promises is. And see, what you don't understand, we dealing with people that keep their promises. But I know a lot of people have been damaged, not only spiritually, but physically, trusting in people who make promises, but they don't keep them. And then you got these hypocrites out here. Well, what if they keep some of their promises? Hypocrite, you already broke everything. If you gonna keep promises, you gotta be consistent. You can't just keep a promise when you feel like it, and then other promises you make, oh, well, making up. No, they ain't how Elohim wrote, plural. They ain't how they do their thing. They make promises and they keep them. That's what they do. Huh? They the truth. So when you around that type of activity, when you put your faith in a people like that always keep their promises, there's a certain type of confidence that's just unearthly. You can't fake this confidence. You can't fake this comfort. You can't fake this security. You can't fake this protection. You can't fake this, man. You can't fake none of this, especially with no damn money. But listen to this. Philippians chapter 4, verse 19. But my Elohim will supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Mashiach Yahushua. Did you hear that? This letting you know, brothers and sisters, when we pray and we believe, and you have to understand, when I say pray, I'm not telling you to tap in to your fleshly desires on what to pray. When I say pray, I'm telling you to tap into what the scriptures say concerning what Father says is that he wants for us and what he tells us to pray for. What Elohim Yahushua tells us that it's okay to pray for and what he wants for us. When these things are centered around your prayer life and you know that these things are needed, all right, as is in Shemanium, so in earth. You pray that way, you believe that way. You know there's a joy that comes to you that's unearthly. These things are being stored away. Elohim, it says, look, I'm going to tell you what the script say. He talk about every word is recorded. Hear me? Woo! Every word is recorded, man. And just like me and you, brothers, we done said a lot of bad things. And we regret those things. But I'm going to tell you what else has been recorded. The prayers, man. Everything we done prayed in Yahushua has been recorded in the heavenly place. This is what my joy is at, man. And not a damn devil can take it away. It's already in the heavenly places, man. Recorded. What I done prayed for over the years, even now. Based off the script. Help me, Allah. Woo. I'm in now. Oh, man. Oh, ow! I'm going to read this right here. Help me, Elohim. Help me to take my time. I ain't trying to rush this. Help me take my time. I want to say this, brothers and sisters, man. What I'm about to read right now, y'all heard this before, man, but I want to tell you this right here. This is a really true saying right here, man. You really can't do this without the Mashiach, man. Because a lot of people is trying to serve other people's information concerning the money, and they ain't trying to follow the spiritual information concerning our relationship with the Father through the Son. And these hypocrites is really trying to create this little lukewarm lifestyle, this lukewarm energy they trying to make up and act like you can do this, but this is a trap. Listen to this right here. Luke chapter 16, verse 13. No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other. I want to pause. See, where I love the Mashiach talking, he letting you know right off the top, it's either this or the other. These hypocrites out here that want to fake like you loving the Mashiach, but on the low, you love the money. Hypocrite, ain't no way you can love the Mashiach, dude. You faking. Because you either gonna hate doing evil, you either gonna grow to hate that thing and grow to love righteousness, or you gonna grow to hate righteousness and grow to love doing evil. It's either or, bro. You ain't mixing this up. I keep trying to tell these little weird hypocrites, you can't fake this. I keep trying to tell them. And listen, I know I was a little dorky dude back in the day, probably a little dorky now. It's fine. It's cool with it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm more real than I was back then because I got experience for real. Stepping out on this. A lot of these hypocrites been out here faking. You ain't even put your big toe out there, hypocrite. That's how scared y'all hypocrite. But nonetheless, we going to deal with you. I mean, Elohim. So he said, no servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Elohim and Mammon. You can't serve the instructions of Elohim and serve the instructions of man that's against Elohim. But try to mix Elohim in their information to act like they with Elohim. You can't do it. You can't do it, baby. I mean, we almost done. Y'all heard this? Mark chapter 4, verse 19. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. These are people that love the money so much that when they do hear the truth about the Savior, they don't have nothing in them to go search for that, because they love ain't in knowing the Mashiach. They don't have no love in knowing the true identity of that. They don't have no love in knowing the true identity of the scriptures. They don't have no love in building up relationships with the truth. Huh? Ain't no love there, man. Ain't nothing there, man. So, and look how it started off, in the cares of this world. Because when you listen to the media, the radio, the TV, you playing online activities on the games, or you're on your laptop, what you're hearing, especially you go to YouTube, TikTok, you go to all these little social channels and these little apps and stuff. What you're hearing is people basically conversating and gossiping about the cares of the world. And because the Mashiach is not in the midst of organizing that and trying to analyze that stuff out and see where, space everything out and separate things rightly and divide it, people just out there just talking and sharing their cares of the world that they all want to be a part of, but pretending like they're looking for more. It's fake. And it talks about, and the lust of other things entering in. So you have to understand where your cares are is what you're going to desire to develop. You're gonna desire to want to invest in this. Where your cares are is what you invest. That's why I used to talk about this back in the day. Elohim had me on this, man. What your faith is in is going to show in how you live. It's going to show what you really stand for, man. That's why Elohim used to speak on things talking about out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth gonna speak. These people could sit here and play this game, man. But what comes out of your mouth is boom. We already gonna know where you at. I used to say that. You can tell a person by what type of faith they have by how they talk. You can tell. It don't matter what tone. They can be loud. They can be very calm. They can be very strategic in how they talk. They can be reckless. I don't give a care how they talking, what tone or what vibe or whatever. The words that they're saying, you already gonna know where their belief system is shaped around. You already gonna know where they at. And for most of the time, the Mashiach is not in the midst of nothing they got going on. This is their own thing. And the scriptures talk about these people out here trying to draw disciples to themselves, trying to draw a crowd, trying to create their own family and all this weird trash. And it ain't got nothing to do with the truth. It got everything to do with them trying to create their own identity through people. Weird, it would trick. Let me all in here. All right, this is it. Oh man, I got two more. One more after this right here. Y'all heard this right here? We talking about worldly rhythm. Brothers and sisters, don't fall for the trap, because we've been here. For some of us, we hear the elder on the regular. All right, and you have to understand that in these times, people are getting so greedy because of their love for the money, and they walking after the spirit of envy, which is the spirit of the devil. These people are starting to outright starve and cause poverty on people on purpose in your face. And what it's causing is people to have to make very hard choices. And this is concerning their families, their jobs, where they live, and the how they've been moving all this time. They have to make hard choices, man, and it's causing a lot of people to not only self-destruct but cause destruction. You understand that? So listen to this, brothers and sisters, and you have to understand this. This is very important. I just spoke about this, but this is going to back it up if you rewind it. Listen. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Let your conversations be without covetousness. I want to pause there. How many times throughout this time I've been talking on this has it brung up envy? Envy is another word for covetousness. Being covenant. Envy. This is what the script bear out. It don't tell you, oh, don't be jealous. No, it tells you for the most part, don't be envious. Don't envy people. What is that saying? Don't hate somebody that has something that don't belong to you, bro. That's envy when you hate like that. I don't care if it's a talent. I don't care if it's the way a person's appearance looks. I don't care if they do something that's better than you that you say. If you envy that person for having that, that means you hate what something was given to that person that wasn't given to you. That's not a bad thing that you don't have it. But if you hate the person for having it, there's something wrong with you. And we already know the foundation of where that comes from. That's the damn devil. Because he was the first one that envied the Most High for being who he is. And envied his son for being who he is. It's all in the Bashar. I ain't lying about that. So it says, let your conversations be without covetousness. And be content. Did you hear that? Be content with such things as you have, for he have said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's not a lie. That is not a lie. That is facts. He will never leave you nor forsake you. And look, brothers and sisters, you can't take this like people of the world that love money take it. They look at this as a genie thing. Oh, he'll never leave me nor forsake me. So these people think they can control the narrative of how Yahuwah do things. They think they can control the narrative of how Yahushua do things. That ain't how it go. Correct. They ain't never how it went. They ain't never how it went. If that was the case, then what Adam and Eve did wouldn't have been punished. They don't control the narrative. Elohim already told them what it was. So for you to go outside of that, that's how it went. So you have to understand that's how powerful the scriptures is. You have to understand Elohim controls the narrative. If you don't do it the way he's telling you, then, and he tells you if you do outside of this what's going to happen, well, hey, if you choose to go outside of that, hypocrite, don't be confused. Don't act weird. I mean, Elohim, and that goes for me. I ain't playing bias with this. I've been on this, okay? So this is my last one right here. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. Ooh! Power! Did you hear that? Let me read again. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. So what they're saying is, brothers and sisters, is that if we barely have the riches of this world, but we have righteousness, we live righteous lives, it's greater than having a whole bunch of money and not be living after righteousness. You better hear me. And you see a lot of these people out here, man. You see a lot of these people that are in danger of losing their existence for real. See? They're in danger of losing their existence by the very ones that they despise. They despise Father Yahuwah. They despise Son Yahushua. They despise them, and they despise Allah. But these the very people that if they don't get it together, they're going to lose their existence by these very people. So brothers and sisters, stay in the faith. Prayer Life forever. Yahushua forever. Hebrew. Yahuwah forever. Alright? All the people that's in Shemayim. Barak, all of them. The world to come. Nothing but blessings. We gonna keep this thing rocking. We ain't never stopping in the Mashiach. Late.